A glorious early autumn day in a magnificent spot, very close to the summit of the highest point around here, very close, that is, to the summit of Winter Hill. And very close also, therefore, to that magnificent structure, the mast at the Winter Hill transmitter. It's been transmitting radio and television programs from here since the 1950s, but this magnificent structure, all 1,000 feet of it, was begun in the early 1960s. The white surface at the top makes it appear to float when the light catches it properly when you're approaching from the roads around here. So since the 1960s, this transmitter has delivered television and radio tours to 7 million people. People in Manchester, people in Bolton, people across the Cheshire Plain and across as far as Liverpool and through Horwich below us and over to Morecambe Bay, the Blackpool Tower and up to Cumbria. BBC in Granada in the 1950s, joined by BBC Two in 1962, by Channel 4 in the 1980s and Channel 5 in the 1990s. 5 terrestrial analogue channels served by the Winter Hill transmitter in an area that we came to know as Granada Land, and that was its flagpole. And in November and December of this year, the analogue signal at the Winter Hill transmitter switches off, and we all of us enter the digital age. Time then perhaps to take a look at television production in and about Manchester across the last 50-odd years, and to tour some of the locations in the city centre that have formed the backdrop for such drama series as Cracker and Prime Suspect, Cutting It and Clocking Off. But before we do that, let's just walk over the hill and have a look at a location from the 1980s. In 1901, the Sunlight soap tycoon Lord Leverhulme, who built Port Sunlight over on the Wirral, commissioned a country house on Rivington Pike, just below Winter Hill. And this being 1901, Lord Leverhulme fashionably planted his gardens with lots of imported exotica, including thousands of rhododendron bushes from North India. In the middle of the 1980s, Granada Television won huge audiences and loads of awards for their 13-hour dramatisation of Paul Scott's novels The Raj Quartet. They called it The Jewel in the Crown, and the driving part of the story is to do with whether or not a young English woman called Daphne Manners is attacked in the Bibibar Gardens. So actress Susan Waldridge duly parks her bicycle up against a gate on a road in North India. 4 months later, she enters a gate to the Leverhulme Gardens. Why? Because at night, the Leverhulme Gardens resemble North India, the magic of television.